What's up, guys? It's your girl Kizzy, aka Enlightened Intuitive, also known as God's favorite lesbian fairy, back with you here for another video. I know I've been away for about 2 weeks, but I had to get myself right. You know what I mean? I had to take a break. I had to reconnect with myself and restabilize and recenter, and well, looks like I've done that. Right, I'm still doing that, but I am in a space where I feel like I can come back and make videos again. So here I am. As always, let's go ahead and get into our deep breath, and then I will read the excerpt from the Book of Light and get into today's topic. So on three, 1, 2, 3, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Thank you, God. And today's excerpt for today is simply loving. Love. Love. Did you know that more than half of humanity does not open its heart for fear of rejection? Did you know that more than half of all people wait to be loved so that they can love in return? Did you know that a great number of people stay with their partners because they feel loved even though they do not love? Oof. Think about this. Imagine that one person loves another. Imagine that the other person does not reciprocate this love. Imagine that instead of continuing to vibrate in that rejection, the first person simply loved. He simply focused on the love he felt. He simply focused on the force of his own vibration without expecting anything in return. Self-love. What would happen? What would happen is that this person would not feel rejected, and therefore he would not diminish his own love and live in restriction. No, he would love. He would simply love. And that would lift his energy in such a way that eventually he might even end up attracting true love. Thank you, Spirit, Universe, God, whatever you believe in. That really gave self-love, and again, it's perfect for today's excerpt. Well, for today's excerpt, what? For today's topic, which is going to be about loving yourself through it all. It's easy to say, love yourself, right? It's easy to push that out there. But it's not the easiest to do, and it can be difficult. You know, we've been so trained to believe in perfection, to believe in needing to have it all together, right? And I say we because this includes me. Every video, everything I say includes me. It doesn't not include me. I'm not opposed to anything I say. But so, you know, it's easy for us to get in that loop of needing to show up and be a certain way in order for us to love ourselves, in order for us to accept ourselves, in order for us to hold space for ourselves, right? Hence pushing away certain emotions, certain feelings, certain situations, the past, mistakes. But it's when you love yourself through these things and hold space for yourself through these situations, whether it's internally or externally, that you're able to get a closer relationship to yourself. That you're able to understand yourself better in all the parts of you. It's when we're in resistance and not interested in going into that resistance where we find ourselves feeling stuck, feeling trapped, feeling unlovable, feeling restricted in giving love and receiving love. And so I recently made a mistake, and it really threw me for a loop because I really felt like I knew what I was talking about. And I never really considered that I could be wrong. And I was like, no, this is right. I'm right. This is it. And I was so on that. My emotions were on that. So the narrative that I put out was fed by the emotions, my intense emotionality, which then misguided me into further confusion, into further angst, right? And disarray, chaos, drama of self, which inevitably involved others. And after, when I realized I could be wrong and that I even was wrong, I was so hard on myself. I was so ashamed, embarrassed. How could that have happened? How could I have done that? Why did I do that? I wish I didn't do that. Why did I? Where did I? A lot of embarrassment, a lot of shame for making a mistake, a genuine mistake. And it's like I had to choose, right? You have to choose. Are you going to love yourself through it? Or are you going to shame and berate and put yourself down for it? Now, where I'm at in my journey, my self love, my self healing and acceptance journey, there really isn't, and wasn't any space for me to go backwards, right? Going backwards would be me giving into the self loathing. That would be me going away from what it is, I'm hoping to accomplish, right? Me going back to, oh yeah, you made this mistake. Who do you think you are? You're nothing. You're small. You're the person you used to be. You can't be this. You can't be that. See, you made a mistake. You're not perfect. You don't have it all together. You're a mess. Right? All these thoughts come up. These negative thoughts come up when we make mistakes because we think our mistakes affirm our badness. But as I was sitting with that and realizing I had a choice, I was like, where do I want to go with this? Where do I want to go with this? And I'm shaking my head because I'm like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. We should never go there. Like, that was the vibe. And that needs to be the vibe. If you want to love yourself, right? If you want to build a closer relationship to yourself, if you want to find self acceptance, strengthen who you are, you've got to own when you make mistakes, acknowledge that you made a mistake, acknowledge where you need to grow, where you need to heal, where you need to continue learning and understanding. But you don't have to, and I don't have to, and I'm realizing and learning this and implementing and practicing this every day, that I don't have to shame myself for it. I don't have to get on myself for not being perfect, for not having it all together, because I don't have it all together. I wish I did, like so many other people, because then I would be like, okay, I'm safe in life. I'm comfortable all the time. But it's not about being comfortable. It's about growth. It's about evolution. It's about healing. It's about creation, right? And you can't create in your comfort zone. You can't create when you're comfortable. You can create the same types of things, right? Like the past narratives, but you can't create something new. It's harder. And so, to the topic of loving yourself through it all, you've got to love yourself through it all. Even the things in your life right now or in your past that you think, I did that and I cannot forgive myself. I'm struggling to do that. It's not possible for me to do that. I can't stop ruminating. I can't stop shaming myself. I can't stop feeling bad. Well, what are your options, right? What are the options? You can self-loathe. You can choose that. You can apologize and decide to move forward. Or you can accept, own, and love yourself through said mistake. said situation, said thought pattern, said struggle, whatever it is. Because you deserve to be loved even when, and in the midst of chaos and turmoil and hopelessness and depression and despair and sadness and extreme intense emotionality. And this is what I recently experienced last week. And I'm still going through it and growing through it, right? And I naturally have an intense emotional body, right? I feel things very deeply and intensely. But it's like, I am worthy. And it feels so good to take a deep breath on that. I am worthy of being loved, even in my darkness, even in my hard times. And it takes strength to do this. I'm not saying it's going to be easy because we're so, like I said, illusioned into perfectionism, thinking we have to have it all together. We have to be right in order to be okay, in order to be lovable. Society says, be this way, and I'll love you, and I'll accept you, and I won't do this, and I won't do that. But you know what? That's not even true, because you're going to have people that love you. You're going to have people that hate you. There's going to be people that have a lot of great to say and a lot of bad to say, right? And I heard from another self-help teacher that you want to be polarizing. You may even be polarizing to yourself. You may not understand yourself. You're like, I don't understand you. And this is how I feel about myself. I'm like, I'm trying to understand you and I'm just loving you through it all. I really am. And I'm here. But I'm also like, who are you? There's so many parts to you, especially when you're healing. That's when you see all the parts. You realize, oh my God, there's all these parts. There's all these things about me. Wow. And you can choose to embrace them and acknowledge them, right? Learn to love them and see them. Or you can be like, no, I want nothing to do with you. Rejection. But you must understand, if you're rejecting yourself, ostracizing and alienating and hurting yourself, the reflection of the people, circumstances, and situations you meet on the external are going to reflect that back to you. Maybe not right away, but in the end, it will. You will see, damn, this person's reflecting back to me how I don't feel like I'm enough, how I don't feel lovable, how I don't love myself, right? And so it's like loving yourself through it all really means owning, embracing, taking accountability for who you are, the different parts of you, right? Where you are right now also, and your mistakes and your past, and really saying, I did do that. That did happen. And giving yourself compassion, not saying, making excuses or not taking accountability or responsibility and not growing or healing from it. No, not being complacent. But I am saying that it is about owning it, taking responsibility, accountability, and then moving through it. I feel uncomfortable, and this is what I was working through and I'm working through. I feel uncomfortable loving myself through being imperfect, through making mistakes, through making a mistake like that. Why? What are you believing that you have to show up as or always be in order to be loved? Right? Why do I feel like I can only be loved if I don't make mistakes? I can only be loved if I don't make this type of mistake. Why? Because you think you need to be perfect to be loved? Do you think you need to have it all together to be loved? Do you think there's a certain type of individual or energy that deserves to be loved? You are a priority in your life. You are the most important thing. You are the thing that is going to be infinite, right? Other people can leave you things, ideas, thoughts, but you are infinite with you. So loving yourself through it all says, I am uncomfortable doing this. I am struggling to let go of this. I am struggling to feel this. I am struggling to accept this and embrace this. But I'm going to do it anyway, right? I can do it anyway. I can muster up the strength to sit in those emotions, in that feeling of lack and unlovability, and say, I'm still here. I mean, you can't escape you, right? Even if you abandon yourself in your thought and your mind, you're still going to be here when you wake up. And so I'm really learning it's not about not making mistakes, it's about loving yourself through them, loving yourself through it all. If your partner made a mistake, are you going to be like, oh, I don't love you anymore, let's break up? Even if it was a big mistake, are you going to hear what they have to say, extend compassion, and still love them if you choose to do that, right? Depending on what it is for you and your boundaries, etc. That's what you must do for you. Love yourself through it all, the same way you would love somebody else through it all, through their mistakes, their imperfections, right? Them not having it all together, their messy moments, their downs, their ups. That's like a marriage to yourself. Through, what is it? Through for better or worse, right? And it's rewarding to do that because then you feel better. You're like, I'm invincible. Because if I fuck up, I'm okay with fucking up. If I do good, I'm good with doing good. You know? I'm able to accept it all. Embrace and own it all. Now, not at first, right? I'm not saying you're going to be like, oh, I made a mistake. Okay, acceptance. No, you have to feel through the uncomfortability, feel through why you're resistant, but then understand it's okay to love yourself through it, through you understanding your mistake, through you growing and healing from your mistake, through you apologizing, right? Through you taking action in certain other ways to make up for it. It's a process, it's a practice, but knowing that you can love yourself through it all and you can make that choice can be very empowering. And I feel that for me. Because again, I'm like, I made this mistake. I can't forgive myself. I can't just move on. Like, I have to be. But why do I have to be perfect in order for me to love myself through this? Why is it not okay for me to make a mistake and still be who I am? Right? Why am I limiting myself in that way? Where am I getting that from? My trauma? My childhood? My past? My pain? All things that can be felt. All things that can be transformed. So I really want you to think about that, right? Loving yourself through it all. Standing by yourself through it all. And that doesn't mean, again, not owning your wrongs and your mistakes and your imperfections and your insecurities. It means owning them and moving through it anyway and choosing you anyway, validating you anyway. Because other people can hurt you, right? They can make you feel bad about what you did. If you give them ownership of that, right? Somebody could make you feel bad forever about what you did. I mean, you could even project that they're making you feel bad forever about what you did. But whether or not they forgive you, whether or not you even apologize, it's about, can you settle it within yourself? Can you say, yes, I did this or I did that, and it's okay? I just need to heal. I just need to grow. I just need to, whatever it is for you. Can you love yourself through the process? Because it's never going to be linear and it's never going to be perfect. So that's going to be it for this video. I really want you to think about that and just really understand that, like, every time you're resistant to like loving yourself through a mistake or an imperfection or an insecurity or a situation or a thought pattern, right, and choosing to do the self-loathing thing, that is you choosing that. And I understand like feeling genuinely hopeless, right? Because I felt that way and I was like, oh my God, like I can't get up. Like every time I try to go up, I go down. But can I love myself through it? Can I still be present through it? Can I not give up on myself through it? And I can. I can still stand by me. Can you still stand by you? In any sort of mode or way that you are? Are you open to doing that? So, I'll see you on my next video. Thank you for being here.